Music has changed. And this is just not some, I'm just out here putting out vibes. And I've just crossed over into grown status where I'm just out here yelling, oh, and young buck, you don't know about the music. The music used to be this, and music, this ain't real music. This, no, no, no. Literally, the music that's out is not real music. What we've come to find out on social media and through a lot of the information that we share, what we've come to find out is that most of what we've experienced in our musical taste and experience has been a lot of inorganic manipulation by people who are very capitalistic and have only aimed to put you in a position to consume or manipulate your thought process and image and what you think life is about. Go back in and apply that to our music and the things that we have consumed. Music, or quote unquote, let's just look at hip hop. Hip hop at one point was you was dropping knowledge. Then it turned into the pants sagging, thugging, fighting, drug dealing. It just became more focused on particular, it was a version of reality that a lot of people were experiencing, but it's one thing to say, hey, we're experiencing this. This is what is going on in my neighborhood. Here's my perspective. But it's another thing to personify, embellish, and put it out there as though this is what life is really supposed to be like, and like the shit is cool, when it's not. So it turned into that. Money started being invested in the people who made it seem like drug dealing, skilling, and all these other things that put you in a position to be on the negative side of life. They made those things sound like this is what life was about. Look at the music with R&B, or quote unquote rhythm and blues. Rhythm is more up tempo and, like dancey, sing-alongy. Blues was more so along the lines of like, I'm going through heartache, or this is a challenge, or this was something that I experienced in a relationship that I did not like, did not prefer. So that was where kind of your rhythm and your blues came about. So then eventually you had both of them put together, and then you hear that in the music. Like, for example, Frankie Beverly and Maze's Before I Let Go is a breakup song. And it just sounds like he trying to get that one last, it sounds like he trying to fuck one more time before he break up. And it's just like this last goodbye. And this man is singing his heart out with his heartbreak and confessing these things so he could get it off his chest. And all y'all know is, that's all y'all know. That's all y'all know. It's just, we just go dance to this man's heartbreak. But anyway, just so look at that type of music. We can go to several songs that we can go in and look up, and these songs are about something completely different than what we have started shaking our behinds to. But look at the R&B now, and look at the image. Whereas before, like, you had guys like Boys to Men. Go look at those guys in the 90s. And I'm only going back to that point because prior to them, you had to be this clean-cut, smooth, presentable type of individual that presented yourself in a particular type of way. Even with as much sweating and dancing and all that Michael Jackson did, he still was super presentable. Look at Hammer. As much dancing as he did, he was presentable. Bobby Brown, as much dancing and all the things that he was doing, he was still presentable. So you get all the way up to, like a Boys to Men. And these guys, the presentation is, I'm a young, handsome man. I got my hair cut. I got my glasses. I'm well manicured. I got suits on. We're well put together. And then you look up and a group like Jodeci comes about, and I'm talking to one of my OGs, DJ OGs, and he brought up the fact that like when, they first seen Jodeci, they was like, man, is these niggas gonna rob us? Think about that. They look like thugs. So your pants hanging down, you're sagging, you give off this image that You're not coming to sing about love. And then look at what was going on. Because really it's one or two people that's writing the songs. I believe it was just one of them nonetheless. But he's writing and producing music. So through his gift, he's putting the music out there, but he's using the vessels as the front guys, the brothers, Casey and JoJo. They're the ones that's putting out and singing through some of the pain and embodying the emotion that one of the other gentlemen in the group that he's likely experienced, observed, or given this perspective on. So I just find it real interesting that now you look at music and what you got. The women are unpresentable. Like tattoos at one point were really a frowned upon thing, especially among women, especially on your neck or on your face and all of that. Go look at your Anita Bakers and your Aretha Franklins and even Monica's. Go look at Brandy and some of them. And Mariah Carey, even in some of the skin that she showed, it was still in a classier fashion. You know, it might have been a dress that was low cut here, you know, and more presentable. Still something that, you know, if you was going to a ballroom show or something like that, you could still wear what she was wearing. But later, in some odd fashion, it just became this quote unquote marketing of ghetto, this marketing of low class, this marketing of unpresentable. And it seems like that floodgate transpired within music. That was like everybody got let in. So go look at Onyx, you know, that grimy slam, that group of guys. Yeah, these represent one type of individual. But if all the niggas in rap look like that, what the fuck is really going on? That makes no sense. That makes no sense. So explain to me why there's, again, this idea where everybody has to have this ghetto, grimy, gutter look to them for them to be in the music industry. And then we antagonize and then we bring down those who do actually look presentable. What happened to four men harmonizing about women? Four brothers getting together, all of them figuring out their gifts. You had one that might have been the me, the low voice, the bad, hey girl, I know I broke your heart and blah, 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 blah. They was gonna be then you had he was gonna be the guy that was gonna help make sense of it after all the other dudes did all them high notes and all of that. He was gonna be the one to try to come in and talk sense to you, right? But what happened to guys doing that? Even if it's three guys, you got one in different harmonies, they represent a whole. What happened to that? Why is it that the only time that these groups get together, it gotta be, oh, nigga, we killing, we the thug niggas, why it gotta be that? And as much as I hate to say it, it seems like the last group that really had some hope in hip hop was Pretty Ricky. I go back, and a lot of their songs was remakes, and they merged that whole, what they saw, you could tell that they were fans of 90s hip hop, so you could tell around that New Jack Swing era is probably what their most influence was, whereas R&B was its own genre. Hip hop was a baby, and hip hop was trying to latch on, or hip hop was taking on other influences from other genres. So that's why you heard rock in hip hop. That's why you heard funk in hip hop. That's why you heard house and techno and disco and soul and jazz. You heard all these genres in hip hop, even classical music. So hip hop was a baby just taking on and being influenced by all these people who were contributing as a collective. At one point in time, people who were in the house with these people with soul or church or even gospel, these influences, they were trying to infuse that young, current, trendy hip sound, which was adding a little hip hop into this rhythmic R&B sound. That's what Pretty Ricky was pretty much doing throughout the 2000s. A lot of their music sounds like that influence from who they saw do they thing. They was jamming. As much as I hate to say it, they was jamming. And I don't think we've seen anything that really made sense after that. Most music now was went back to the underground. That's another interesting thing that I think that is out here. It's like a grassroots thing for you to go in and find the artists that you like. And then even when it boils down to the way that we quote unquote consume music, y'all all over the place. So it seems like what we want versus technology are really two totally different things. Let's look at it. You had 8-track tape, you had vinyl, you had these were the medians that music was being passed around. So you had 45s that kind of look similar to, come on, damn it. They kind of look similar to this right here. This is my damn record. It had a little piece in the middle, which is like this, a spindle. And this little spindle helped you put it on record players that didn't have that little adjustment for the big hole. But anyway, you had that. You had large vinyl. And this was the medium in which you physically carried and held records. You had to physically go and put your energy into walking down the store. You had to sort through it. You busted up cuticles. You smelled record shops. You had to have a relationship with the guy at the record shop so he could hold that record for you that you was looking for in case it came in. It was all this energy that was put into getting that record. Then you had that collection at the house. You made sure you took care of it. You didn't let the needle tear up the vinyl and scratch the record or whatnot. You cleaned the vinyl. You didn't want to leave it dusty or whatnot. And then when you and somebody was connecting and vibing, whether it been friends, whether it been a significant other or a person that you was attracted to and y'all was trying to link up or be in a relationship, a date or something like that, y'all vibed and talked about this music that you had. And then within that record, in some of the cases, you had a white sleeve. This could be real simple little sleeve. Boom, it's in the record. Other times they had posters. In those posters, it might have had who they were, and you could put that poster up on your wall, more representation of marketing. And in some instances, you had the sleeve that folded, and when you unfolded it, it told you who was the bassist on that song, who was the guitar player, who played horns, who did the arrangement, who did the lyrics, who was the background singers. It showed you that more than one group or person put this song together. It wasn't just quote unquote maybe one person's idea. And in some instances it was. So you just saw it was produced by this one particular person. But mostly back then it was a group of people contributing time, energy, resources, talents, gifts with one another, and they was then presenting and putting this record together. And it was one of many, and likely anywhere between 2, 4, 6, 10, 12 records that might have been on one single album. Then from there, you had like 8-track, which was larger, and that was something that was passed around. That was on a film. That cassette was being used, and then eventually it went to a smaller cassette. And that smaller cassette was also something that you had representing who you was. You carried around. You could put that in your car because a record you couldn't put in your car. You couldn't have a record player and a needle and slide the vinyl disc in your car, right? So the tape was more advantageous. You slid that in. Eventually, disc came about. So that's where CDs, compact disc, because before they probably held a certain amount of data, but they figured out a way to compress and put more information on it. Boom, you got CDs that's floating around. You could put that in your car. Again, that was another, if you had the little console at the house, it was a little deal that stood up so tall. Sometimes they were wide, and you just lined up your CDs, and a person come over and y'all be talking, and they could look through and see what CD you got, right? From there, these were all ways that you exchanged and physically held accountable what music you had, and it was a way of networking and what I mean by networking, it was a way of how the network or the energy, what you observed or what you like or what you was a fan of music, you network and intertwined, and y'all put y'all energy and thought process and conversation, compare, likes, dislike, all those things y'all did while talking about music. It was that fun energy exchange. Now you get to streaming and downloading. Even that was still a little cool because you had the CDs, you wrote your name on it, you call it a mixtape or something like that. Other people might steal it. And you might get other DJs who put their branding and logo on. It was more personal for them. I'm Energizer the DJ, Mixtape Godzilla, Volume 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, whatever. I put that out. And you got to hear different versions of way how people put music together, right? Or you put it together yourself. Then we got to the streaming aspect. And the streaming literally took away a lot of the exchange that we experienced in music. Now, if it goes on your phone or, you download it or whatnot, it's just you and your headphones. And now it's just this real introverted type of experience per se, unless you at somebody's house or unless you get on the internet and share your playlist or something like that, or somebody trusts you with the aux. At that point, it's more of a very intimate, yes, but it's an introverted experience. Whereas this whole time, that exchange was a social one. And now it's more so, I would say, antisocial. So music has changed. And it allowed a lot of the predatory aspects of what we have in capitalism and in the music industry. It allowed them to manipulate us in a particular way. So now when you have the streaming, you have bots, which is these bot farms or these streaming farms where people get a bunch of phones or devices or whatever it is. They create accounts or whatnot, and then they go in and they might focus and stream a particular artist's music. So whereas we think this artist is popular and he's getting all these streams and they putting out that they did all these records or whatnot, they're not really doing these things. So now let's go. This person goes on tour, has a concert or whatnot. They're not selling a damn seat. How is that a thing? So I just find a lot of this interesting on how music has really changed. The more accessible music has become, the worse music became. I think that should be something that we should really look at. The more monetary and the more control and capitalistic idea that was put in place, it changed a lot of what our end product of music is. I don't know. Y'all think about some of this. Let me know what y'all think. I know I'm just kind of brainstorming here and just speaking on some of these sentiments or things that I've observed as a DJ in the game and as a fan of music. I mean, let me know what you think. Synergizer.